Hello, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to my third Friday Sews video, where I will be going over the progress on the copy of this vintage shirt that I am making, only in yellow. I will be talking about a vintage sewing machine that I'm working on a little bit. I'm having some trouble. I'll give you an update on that. I'm going to go over this kit, sewing kit that I am going to be working on as my next sewing project, and maybe a couple other things here and there. Starting off with the shirt that I am making as a copy of this one, using this pattern from the 1930s. It is a Simplicity unprinted pattern. I chose the zipper front closure on it, obviously, just like the one I'm wearing. And so I had hoped to finish this all in one weekend, but I forgot that we were having company over on Saturday. So that took up a lot of my time, you know, going shopping, getting things ready. We're just having a little bit of game night, want to get everything set up. And then, you know, there are other household chores that have to get done on Saturdays. So I ended up only getting like a couple hours of sewing in, but I've gotten a lot of progress made on this shirt anyways. I got the zipper front closure in, which the method they use in this pattern is kind of wonky, but it is from the 1930s. So zippers were like fairly new still then, I think. They even call it a slide fastener instead of a zipper. So I think in the future, if I make this shirt again, and I might because I like it, I'm just going to really simplify it and just do a modern like zipper insertion on the front rather than using their weird process where they sort of put it backwards onto a facing and then put the facing onto here so the front of the zipper is facing out. It's a little bit overcomplicated. I'm just gonna, you know, sandwich it between the front and the facing and then flip it in like a normal modern zipper installation. So I got the zipper on, I got the back yoke done. This required gathering, which I'm terrible at, and I'm always ending up with it kind of wonky no matter how hard I try, but it came out fine. And then I just got the shoulders done. So after getting the collar inserted, which is really the only semi-tricky thing left to do, it's just add on the arms and then do the underarm seams, the side seams as one. So I should have the video up with this process fairly soon. I will finish it this weekend and hopefully I can get the video up ASAP. We'll see how it goes. But the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is this Montgomery Ward sewing machine. I think it is from the late 60s, and it seems like a really good machine. But the problem I'm having with it is when I do all the settings like it says to give it a straight stitch, there's still a very narrow zigzag stitch coming out. And when I do the full width of the zigzag, it is like hitting on either side of like the opening, like the zigzag opening in the like faceplate here. So there's something about like the width of the zigzag setting that is not quite straight. So I'm going to go online looking at some of like the vintage Japanese sewing machine groups and ask them. I haven't done that yet because I'm not motivated right this second to work more on it. Everything seems to be in good condition. I didn't find any plastic gears. It seems like a really well-designed machine, but there's just some sort of like, there's just a couple of like settings and adjustments that need to be made that I don't quite know how to make. The next thing I wanted to talk about is this sewing kit that I'm going to be working on as soon as I'm done with that shirt. And that shirt's just got a couple of steps left and it's finished, so I'll get that one done pretty quickly. But I wanted in this video to go through and just open this kit up and take a look at it with you guys, just to see what all's in it. And I thought that would add a little bit of value to this video, get to see something a little bit weird and different. So I'm going to switch around to like a different filming setup so we can watch this. And I will be right back as soon as I figure out how I want to do this. Trying a little bit different of a filming setup here. Let's see if this works. I just wanted to give a table in front of me for y'all to like look at things. So this is my work table and I just sort of turned it at an angle in the corner of the room and squeezed myself back here. And I just have this stack of stuff. These are the remaining pattern pieces for my shirt. I got the collar and the sleeves. And then this is a stack of fabric that just keeps getting taller and taller because my cat likes to sleep on it when the table is like pushed in the corner. And there's a pile of fabric there. She always falls asleep on it. These are all things I have intentions of using. I had intentions of using fairly recently, but then they just ended up part of my cat's fabric stack. So flannel that I'm going to make a shirt out of. This is more of the fabric I made my hoodie from that I want to dye and make another hoodie or something out of. And this is a really nice like burgundy wool that I found at a thrift store for a few bucks. But let's move that out of the way for a second. Let's dig into this because I'm sort of interested in opening it just to see how it looks. All right, not complicated packaging. It's literally just a bag with a little cardboard part on top. Doesn't say much on this cardboard piece. Hello, kitty. Come to investigate. So starting off, we got this, I think this is the instruction booklet in here. Yeah, it's got a catalog like request form in the back of the book where you like check off boxes and mail it in. So this is fairly old. I don't think they did that much in the 90s. I think this is definitely 80s, but I'm gonna look for like an actual date. They have a list of like other products on the back here that they have also made. I don't know how well you can see that. They got a whole like series of stuff that they've made. So I'm gonna try to look for some of these other ones and give them a try if I like this. You got a basic glossary of sewing terms. So I think this is meant for beginner sewists, obviously. I mean, it's a kit. They give you the stitch settings. They tell you what type of needle to use. They give you a scrap of material for testing. That's good. You've got all of the pattern pieces listed off in here. Looks like it's gonna be raglan sleeve. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a complicated pattern, but it's very, very in-depth instructions. So let's pull this out and take a look at the pieces. Okay, coming out, this looks a lot brighter red than it did in the package. I guess the like plastic had been yellowed enough, but it looked like a deeper burgundy to my eyes in the package than it does taking out of it. This looks like the main fabric bundle. This looks like the rib knit, although it is kind of an unfortunate like bandage color. Hopefully in context, it doesn't look so much like I sewed something using Ace Bandage's rib knit, although that's a cool idea that I might try sometime. And this is, what is this? 2 very little tubes of rib knit fabric. Maybe these are the cuffs. I don't know. I've got a little black zipper. You got the tag to sew in. That's kind of a cool looking tag. Washing instruction label. And then another little ultra tag, like label to put in. And then you've got a couple of little color matching threads here. It's just dual Coats & Clark dual duty polyester thread. And it looks like 150 yards of each color. Let's take a look at the pieces themselves and see what they're like. This is definitely a corduroy fabric. And the more I see it, it's giving me more 70s vibes and 80s vibes even. So it does have stretch, not that way, but this way. So it is a 2-way stretch, and it's a fairly lightweight corduroy. Definitely some polyester in here. There's cotton. I think it's not 100% poly, but maybe not. I don't think it's 100% cotton. And it is very, very thin, slightly translucent. Like I can see a little bit of light through it. I don't know how much I'm gonna love a pullover made out of this fabric. We'll cross that bridge when it's time to actually do it. So it looks like maybe a pocket piece. This one already has buttons in it. I don't know what this is for. But it's 2 different pieces buttoned together already, like the snaps. I don't know what all of these little pieces are. These weird rectangular pieces. Maybe those are pocket pieces. This looks like possibly a collar piece. A bigger rectangular-ish piece. For being a pullover, which I should recognize, so far I'm not figuring out what these pieces are. So we'll see. I don't know what all the rectangular pieces are all about. I'm editing this video and I just got to the point where I keep saying rectangular instead of triangular, which isn't that big of a deal, especially when I'm filming. I've got so much going on. I'm thinking about different things. Sometimes the words that come out aren't the right words and I don't realize it until later. But in this particular situation, there is a reason why I was a little bit out of it. And I thought I would give a little bit of a story time here just to explain, because I think it's funny. So like I said earlier in the video, we had a little get together this weekend, a little game night. And one of my friends who was coming over doesn't drink alcohol. So I went out and I bought a few CBD tonics, like CBD seltzers for him to have. And during the game night, he didn't drink all of them. There were like 2 or 3 left over. So a few nights ago, I decided to give one a try. I had never had CBD in like seltzer form or any other form before, but I thought I would give it a try. It's supposed to, you know, just be like a mild relaxant to like help with pain and stuff. And I have some sort of like shoulder damage that causes like a chronic pain situation with that. So I thought I would give it a try. And I had one with dinner and it was very relaxing. And the next day my shoulder didn't hurt as much. So I thought, hey, this is not that bad. So I tried one again the next night. What I didn't know this time is that I had picked up one of these seltzers that had Delta 8 THC in it. Delta 8 THC in it, which I had never heard of that before. And it was not something I realized you could just get over the counter, or like it was just in the drinks case by the CBDs and stuff. So I drank this Delta 8 THC seltzer, and about an hour after I ate dinner, I just started giggling uncontrollably, and I realized that it was sending me for a little bit of a trip. So this is not my normal situation, and it really threw me for a loop. And even today, like, my mind is not, you know, as razor sharp as it normally is. So earlier this morning when I was filming this video, I still just wasn't quite on point. So this is definitely not a mistake I'm ever going to make again. And if any of you are ever tempted to try CBD drinks, I would say that the regular CBD seltzers are great. Just be very careful that you don't accidentally pick up one that like says Delta 8 THC, because it was not clearly labeled. It was just in there with all the other drinks, and it was a whole different kettle of fish. But that's the end of the story time for now. Let's get back to the video. Okay, that looks like a sleeve. And they do have the notches cut into the sides of them already. You can see that there's a little double notch already cut into it. I don't know what any of these pattern pieces are. These have got to be sleeves. So there are raglan sleeves, so I guess it's the back piece. No. Okay, maybe those are the sleeves. Then what is this? Weird triangles of fabric. I'm guessing all of these weird triangles, you know, connect together somehow to make the front of it. This is most definitely, or probably, the collar. It's the only thing that's color-ish. And this must be like the main front piece, but it definitely looks like other things connect to it somehow. I don't know what to think about those. I'll figure it out. Let's look at some of the rib knit here. So it is one longer piece of this ace bandage rib knit. We've got a shorter piece of the ace bandage rib knit. All right, so that is the sewing kit. I'm gonna launder this fabric and iron it, so it's been, you know, stuck in this bag for quite a while. It is not my favorite fabric. It's not terrible, but it is sort of polyester-ish and corduroy. I don't know if maybe I want to line it with something. I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing with it. That's still another project ahead. I've got to finish my other one first. That's all I have for this week, and I really appreciate y'all coming by. If you have liked this video, please let me know by giving it a like. And if you have not already, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future. Oh wow, there's already red fuzz everywhere. Oh, for Pete's sake, I just vacuumed. Just a glossary of terms: hem, raw edge, right side, seam allowance, stay stitch, top stitch. All those basic terms. Excuse me, cat, what are you doing? Could you please not mess with the microphone? Nobody wants cat butt on a video. And, oh cat, you can't get in that bag. That's a bad idea. That's a terrible idea. Well, don't get an attitude. You can't crawl in that bag and get stuck.